Well, after more than 3 decades with the Church of Scientology, Leah Remini made headlines when she publicly walked away back in 2013. Now she's going a step further in a tell-all docuseries on A&E entitled Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath. Watch.
We got an anonymous letter in our mailbox saying you shouldn't be associating with your neighbor. And I go, wait a minute, where are they watching from? So I walked up around the street and I went, right there. There's this stupid birdhouse that I've seen 100 times, never even given a second thought to. And so I went and got a ladder and I walked over there and I opened the lid and there's a camera inside of the birdhouse pointing at our house. And here is the camera.
They're allowed to install cameras and take pictures, Mike, on private houses?
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal? So
no, you can say,
I could come here in the middle of the night
the camera was to watch the front of the house.
We're talking about a church. That's the part of it.
A statement from the Church of Scientology reads in part, quote, Leah Remini needs to move on with her life and career and stop blaming the church and others for all of her personal and professional setbacks. Leah Remini Aftermath is really Leah Remini after money. Joining me now in a Kelly File exclusive, Leah Remini, who's also the author of Troublemaker, Surviving Hollywood and Scientology. Leah, thank you so much for being here. So we've seen the church come after anybody who comes after them, including Mike Rinder, who's been on this program and is featured in that episode we just showed there. They're pretty brutal about it and pretty relentless about it. My question for you is it scary at all for you now to be doing this show and having written the book and so on?
It's not really scary for me. You know, I'm lucky enough to be in this business and have the support of all of you in the media that I can speak about it. What is scary is that systematically this is an organization, a place supposedly of worship, calling itself a church, that systematically goes after people who speak out about it, and that is why I wanted to do the show. Not so much for myself, because I'm not really talking about myself, but I'm finding out more and more things as the show progresses. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking how this organization continues to attempt to bully its victims and people who are speaking out. They go after your job, they go after your family, they picket in front of your house, and they continue to do it, and their history has shown that unless it's stopped, it's going to continue to go on.
They've denied all that, and they also tend to sue people who say things about them.
They don't need to deny anything, Megan. Honestly, you just simply need to Google it, and you'll find out that it's true. If you do fair game and Scientology...
And you're not allowed to do that in Scientology, right? It's a rule that you stay off the Internet when it comes to Scientology in particular.
Correct. And as someone who is in the church, I understand it. I mean, you don't actively go after things that you're involved in. You don't go actively looking for people attacking your religious beliefs. But that's really not the case here. Your religious beliefs dictate and mandate that you hurt people. That is a problem. And so I didn't find these things out, unfortunately, until I left. And it simply is just looking for yourself, and I implore people to do that. This is a church you get penalized for asking questions and for looking.
You talk about how you were at Tom Cruise's wedding to Katie Holmes, and you had an incident there, an experience there that really first started to help you see the light, as you say, about Scientology. What was it about your experience there that did that?
Well, the top clergy was there at the wedding, and so a lot of Scientologists don't really get to meet top executives of the church very often. I was there, and the leader of the church was there, of course, being best friends with Tom Cruise, and the leader's wife wasn't there, who I was friendly with. And I asked innocently Tom Davis, who was the former spokesperson of the Church of Scientology, who was later kicked out, but still a Scientologist. I asked where Shelley was, and I was told that I didn't have the effing rank to ask where a human being was. And that really did start the ball rolling, because as a parishioner, somebody who was promoting this church, defending this church, I have a right to ask where a human being is, regardless of my rank in the church.
Leah, do you think that that this organization should have, should be tax exempt, as it is now as a church?
I don't believe anybody believes that. I mean, even when I was in the church, I was hoping that something would be done about it. I felt at the time I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave at that time, but I was like, if this is truly a bad organization, the IRS will step in, the government will step in, the FBI will do something about it. And I actually wasn't happy when we received tax-exempt status, because I was like, so this is just going to continue. And still, I didn't feel like I could leave. If I was to leave in that moment in time, I would have lost my mother, my stepfather, my sister, my brother-in-law, who were really immersed into it at the time.
Yeah, right. That's the punishment you get. All right, so I got to run because we're short on time. But Tuesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on A&E. It's already setting record ratings. Leah, thank you for being here. We're grateful.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.